Hello, my name is Frances Fox, and I'm a trained remote viewer, also trained in interspecies communication, all the psychic abilities that all human beings have, but they're in the other dimensions in our energy bodies, and we have not really been allowed to know a lot about them. Everything is going on in the other dimensions because it gives a lot of power. That's why the mind control program that has been running, in my case, since the 40s, but the Nazis had it prior, I don't know how many years. That's why the information has not been made public, because if you found out everything, you would say, I don't want the torture rape part of the program, but I do want the skills. I want the superpowers. What are the secrets? What do I need to know? Where do I sign up? We are here to teach white magic, which is basically what the mind control program was all about, was magic and power in the other dimensions. Very important. This has been an interesting day for me. I've strung together a lot of things and interesting. First, I think it's the governor of Maine. No, Maine Attorney General Aaron Frey sent a letter to Trump administration affirming they will continue to allow males to invade female sports. All funding to male will be cut immediately. Now, why on earth would they do that? I understand people believing in something, but the truth of the matter is that to have federal spending, federal money cut to an entire state is a big place to take a stand having to do with men and women's sports. But what I remembered was that for weeks, when I drew the map of the United States, and I have one today, which I'll show you now, it was through Maine that the ETs were invading. What is the break there? What is the break there? No, there is a break in the other dimensions. There are portals in Maine that are big enough that the bad ETs, the ones that invade people and countries, were entering through there. I don't know what happened there, that they would have had that portal. But this is an example of somebody making a stand that doesn't make any sense, because you could simply say, I do believe that men should be in women's sports, and that's fine. But to take that stand and say, we're going to stay on that stand and then lose everything that they're going to lose, at least to me, does not make any sense. And I think for a lot of people in the country, in that state, it's not going to make any sense. But they're broken. Got it? Broken. Broken. The same way I was broken, and that's why our friendly friend, Adam Schiff, decided to see if he could possess my physical vehicle, because he says, astrally, an astral conversation, that he knows that he's going to end up in jail. He's just not sure what jail he's going to end up in. El Salvador, Guantanamo. So when you are broken, you are subject and you will be invaded. When you're broken, it's because there's an empty space and something's going to fill it. So I think we might see more craziness from Maine. And remember, this whole thing today, everything has been tying together, having to do with sex. Men and women's sports is a sexual issue. Now, what have I told you about invading spirits? Even according to the Catholic Church, the worst ones are the ones that invade our sexuality, incubus and succubus. Those are the ones from Orion. Those are the ones that come in through the left ear, left side of the head, and then they trolley on down to your second energy center called the sacral, which is the one in charge of your sexuality and also manifestation and also creativity. By the way, that's the reason why a lot of people that are very creative, like in television and film and all the rest of that, they have to look very sexual, because they don't feel very sexual, because that energy center only has 100% of energy. Anything has only 100% of something. And you can use it for manifestation, creativity, or sexuality. And I think a lot of people, because I did a lot of television before as a guest, and I noticed that with a lot of the women and men that just had to look very sexual, and yet they weren't, because I knew their private lives. So everything is balance. We are sick sexually. Many examples, including somebody said today something that I think people don't want to say too loud, because then we're pointing the fingers at ourselves. That one of the issues with China is that they don't really have 1.4 billion people. I don't remember, don't trust me with numbers. They don't really have that many people. They're lying about their population, and their population is very old. They don't have young people. In other words, they're into population collapse, and what happens then? You can't sustain the country. Within 15 years, you have all 30 years, all old people. Okay, what's the problem with that, Francis? They have to get Social Security checks. They stop working. But it's the young people coming into the workforce that work and pay taxes, and then that goes to the fund, and then the old people live off of that. And when they get old, they live off of that. If there's no more young people, there's nobody putting money in, there's only money taken out. China is now no longer as relevant. We don't have to worry about hordes of Chinese taking over, because maybe there's not hordes of Chinese anymore. So guess who's next? The United States, population collapse. So when is somebody going to take this seriously? The connection between sex and having babies, and the diminishing and the confusion about sex and then not having babies. Now, you know that I just wrote a book. I don't have the answers in there, but I certainly have valid questions that need to be asked, and I'm certainly willing. Here, this is the book. It's on Amazon. I brought it out 2 weeks ago. 4 people have bought it. That's not true. A lot more people than that have purchased it. Um, and there's a title, Sex. We have got to figure this out, because it's going to reach a point where countries, Latin America, is going to say the United States is not important anymore. It's all old people. The system's going to collapse. Okay, so this is, I don't know if this is the appropriate place to say it or not, but what is sex about? Sex is union of male and female energies. Forget the bodies. It's not important. We all have male and female energy running through our bodies. So don't worry about the whole body thing. Sex is a union of male and female energies. And when it comes together, according to the people that know about electricity, it creates light, electricity. In humans, it creates orgasm. Oh, and what is orgasm? Spiritual ecstasy. Okay, where are we going with this? Where are we at in written human history? End times. Where are we supposed to be going? Ascension, spiritual ascension. And what is that all about? Getting back to God. Orgasm, spiritual ecstasy, being at one with God. No, we don't want any orgasms. Well, maybe we do want orgasms, but we're being blocked, which is what, please read the book. Scream all you want. The subject is crazy, but one of the reasons it's crazy is because we haven't been allowed the flow of information. Tantric Buddhism knows a lot about this. Do you think that they would dare to try to educate us? Do you know the things that they would be accused of? It's only a crazy person like me, crazy in relation, in terms of my relationship with society. I'm not crazy. I see things other people can't see. I see things in advance, which is very difficult and painful, because then people say you're crazy, and then 5 years later, oh God, you were right. But you're crazy about this new thing. No. We have to figure this out. Please get the book. Get angry at the book and throw it at other people and say, look what this crazy lady has to say. I say a lot of things. You'll have fun, though, in the last chapter. And then you'll go out and you'll buy yourself a Tesla. Read it. You get the answer there. Okay, so multidimensional gossip. In 1992, my control, who was a Washington person, he was getting ready to die. He was old. And I guess he wanted to leave me a little bit of a gift. I think he loved me a lot. Actually, I know that he did. So what he did was, because he couldn't control the Cuban mafia in Miami, who were my handlers, so he had, I did not want to do this, believe me. He had me take them to court for sexual abuse via a man that was supposedly my uncle who wasn't. There were two other women in the lawsuit. But there was only one person that signed on to the lawsuit in terms of challenging me. And the lawsuit never made it to court, to a group called Amigos de la Corte, which are friends of the court, signed on to my lawsuit because they felt it would be a valuable lawsuit. But then in Florida, they passed a law having to do with statutes of limitation, and it dropped. But the interesting thing I would like to say today is that there was one person who came up against me, and I did not understand it. I know it today. And he was the head of the Department of Archaeology at the University of Miami. When my husband and I were at the University of Miami. After that, he went out on to be, I think, the head of the Cuban studies in the University of Miami. And after that, he got involved in investigations having to do with microwave weapons. But this is the guy that went against me in that lawsuit. And I was thinking today, because he's still alive, somebody actually should ask him a lot of questions, because I think he would have a lot of answers for us. I'm not accusing him of anything. I mean, the things that I've repeated now are part of court records. You can look up the lawsuit and you'll see the court records, and his name is there. It's actually the only name that's there that is not the defendant and me and the other two females. So we might want to look him up and ask him some questions, because he might have some answers that could lead us to having more information on what the heck is going on, having to do with all this stuff that's getting unraveled right now. Next, another piece of metaphysical gossip. You know that I have Adam Schiff. I think I already said that, but I'm not sure. I'm very stressed. Look at the way I'm holding. Adam Schiff is no longer inside my body. And I don't remember if at the beginning of this conversation, I told you about, I updated you. He is no longer inside my body. I'm doing the mantra that created the portal. Oh, now I remember. I did speak about it, but it has to do with the portal with Maine. You can't have a possession issue or a spiritual influence issue unless you're broken someplace. And I was still very broken in some particular issues. And here we go with that profound understanding of the nature of human life on planet Earth. You don't have a problem unless you need it. Okay, I needed the problem. Why did I need the problem? Because I was very broken in something that wasn't getting challenged. I couldn't see that I was that broken. You only have a problem if you need it. I needed the problem with Adam Schiff. Darn, my head just left. So let's get it back. The next step in mastery, after you ask yourself, why do I need this problem? And then you figure it out. The next step is to recognize that that person who did that to you, or those people that did that to you, were actually doing you a favor. If you knew about all the details about the time I spent in Tibet with the monks, you would go, but that's abuse. No, it wasn't abuse. It would be abuse to you because your lens is like this. If you go like this and you understand that they understood my mission, I didn't. I was 10 years old. I didn't then. I didn't for decades. They understood it and they contributed to the development of my mind so that I would be able to do this that I'm doing today. So they are true masters. In that case, that's very light reference to, but the worst people are true masters. The Tibetan monks were not. They don't classify that. But what I am explaining is that The way you view things, from what angle, and how wide your lens is, changes everything. Adam Schiff did me a favor. I'm not going to go into this next stage, which is happening now in my life with that big break. I'm not going to be meeting hundreds and thousands of people because that's what's going to happen next and be that broken and not even know it. He did me a favor. He is considered a master, a true master. Do I hate him? Absolutely. That doesn't take away my emotional reaction. I have an astral spirit that is very emotional. I'm just explaining to you the things that I have learned the hard way, so that maybe you don't have to learn them the hard way. So when somebody does something bad, you can go there, oh my God, look what they did. But you need to immediately go back to, and why did I need that? Why did I need this problem? Why did I need for him to do that to me? I just realized something in the last 2 days clearing up this, having to do with somebody in my family that I've been worried sick over. And then I realized, oh my God, this is an extension of my problem because our stuff transfers to our children and to our loved ones. So anyway, next, back to population collapse. Trump can disrespect China. This would not have happened 25 or 50 years ago. We were all terrified of China. Population, they'll overrun, they'll take over. Not anymore. They're limping. Sex. And let's get to the shame issue. The lowest vibration of all the emotions is shame. Nobody talks about it. Nobody deals with it. The shame mantra is incredible. And as a matter of fact, tonight I'm going to do my gathering, my chat with the Mantrista movement, and I'm going to do hours of the shame mantra. I thought I had finished with that. Nope, I didn't. I hadn't finished with it. Maybe I'll finish with it tonight. And it's just, you just keep repeating the mantra and you keep repeating it silently always. And I'll let you know. But I don't have to let you know. What I'm telling you is that I must invest 2 hours to clear something that will make me more powerful, which is what I want. What is the definition of the word power? To be able to do and to be able to act. It doesn't include the word abuse. We associate it with abuse because too many people that are powerful have been abusive. Okay? But it doesn't include, the definition does not include abuse. Okay. Where do we have the highest level of shame? What kind of issues? Sex. That's where the level of shame is the deepest. And we have a planet that is full of people that are not clear about their sexuality. Not their fault. There is a shift going on. In the book, it's explained right at the beginning. But they don't know that. They just, I'm a female, but I want to be a male. I'm ashamed of the people that have sexual issues and sexual shame issues are very predisposed towards suicide. And there's a very high rate of suicide amongst the people, the trans, and they do the surgeries, and the ones that don't do that, even when it was just when being gay became more open. We have to get this issue of sex figured out, whether it's because of, for whatever, all the reasons that I've talked about. We need to get this figured out. And we talk mainly about politics here, the country, And now it turns out that sex also affects countries. So let's do the map because it's looking really good. This is the map. Now you do remember, look down here, this was 3 days ago. And 3 days ago it says, the ocean floor is literally shaking, and it's not shaking anymore. And here I said, this is 3 days ago, we are caught up in something. Was this it? No, there's another one after this. I don't have it here. April 9. 2 days ago. This was lifting the United States up and out. We do have the Merkaba, which is the galactic protection. Earth changes, and now it's all green. Well, how do you go from that to that? Well, we got lifted up. We are in the country, and I'm sure other countries are in an ascension process, and we get lifted up and away. When I do these sketches, I'm not thinking, I don't know what I'm going to sketch. This is not me, well, I think if that was ascension, then maybe I was shocked by this. This is great. Remember, it can be a little negative. And what does it say? That we went from fire to healing down here. How did that happen? And this is a wave, a vibration, a frequency. And that color green is the color of the heart, and it's the color of healing. This is really, really, really good. I don't understand it, but it's really, really good. Now, you can't ascend unless you're honest, emotionally honest. And that's why the mantra, even though I'm a piece of garbage, I love and accept myself, is so, so uplifting. When you do that mantra, you're like, and then after doing it several times, you start to smile. And you go, yeah, it's true, I feel that way. So why don't we do that right now? And I actually want to use a bad word, so I'm going to use a bad word, okay? Because I feel like it. And I'm going to put on the music that's for your solar plexus, which is the garbage can of emotions, okay? Go ahead and do this. Even if you don't like the word shit, it's okay. Just do it and then tell me the effects of it on you. Okay, we're going to do 5 minutes. This is for your self-esteem. I'm already smiling, and yet I'm going to be doing this mantra because I need it, because my self-esteem is shot. Okay? I think I want something a little bit more. Oh, let's do the second, this one. This is for your sexual sacral energy center. I left something open. Give me a minute. Okay, I'm sorry. I clicked the wrong button. How do you feel from 1 to 10? Are you smiling? Now, you don't have to teach this purification mantra like that. You can put, even though I'm ashamed, I love and accept myself, which is what I'm going to do for 2 hours now at 8:30. Okay? And you're welcome to join us even if you don't know Spanish, because you already have the mantra. Even though I'm ashamed, I love and accept myself. And I will have that same music on, which is the one for the second chakra, which interesting. I look down at my second chakra, which is 2 inches below the belly button. Whoa, that was a lot of movement. There was like a wave of red fire energy, but not good. You're not supposed to have that much fire, but it makes sense. Makes sense. I have never seen it quite so active, but I think I got to a bottom line with the issue, the multi-dimensional abuse issue with Adam Schiff. By the way, I do think we need to start setting up systems in the court to where we can go after people that do things like this. In other words, if we had a system in place, I would basically get my lawyer to contact Adam Schiff's lawyer and say, he is trying to possess me. This is an energetic attack, and this needs to be stopped, and I need to be compensated because I haven't slept for 2 weeks, whatever it is that you would say. Um, but we need to start taking care of that because black magic has been an issue throughout the history of the planet. Even though lawsuits are a new thing, I think they took care of them in a different way in other civilizations. We're not going to get into that. How do you like that? I hope you have a great weekend. Okay? Get the book. Get the book. When the stuff I say appears crazy, because I've watched myself for decades, it is because you may not be familiar yet, but you're going to need to know it in the future. And if your mind is at least open, you have a place to put all this new information that's coming at us, such as, why are we not so worried about China anymore? Because they have a sexual issue. And you have to say it openly. If you're not having kids, you're not having sex. Okay? You're not. It's not that they're buying more condoms. You're not having enough sex. And so China has a sexual issue. But this country does too. Okay? Love you.